Hey everybody, how's it going this afternoon? Hey, there's schmutz on my desk. But hey, I decided that since I'm going to be out hanging with some friends tomorrow, that I would run my stream today. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do an unboxing. Then we're going to look at some brand new switches that Unikey sent me. I'm very excited about it. So, yeah. I don't know if anybody's actually around yet, but hopefully some people show up. And yeah, otherwise you can always check it out on my VOD. We're going to be using this later when we're testing switches. This will be my polycarbonate version. All of my test machines today are going to be running the Ghost Judge by KP Republic keycaps because I have enough sets on enough boards that I can actually do that. So let me go ahead and bring up my chat for YouTube in case anybody wants to chat me over there. But yeah. Bring that out. All right. So let's take a look at the board we're going to be looking at today. And so I'm really excited about this board. I know I'm really excited about a lot of boards, but you know, at the same time, this is exciting to me because I love a good ZMK board, especially one at a reasonable price point, even though it is an ABS plastic case. But I mean, it's a fully built keyboard, even if it is with the Keychron keycaps. At least they have their new Silk Palm switches in it, which I think you'll see are actually not bad at all. So this notes the 8K hertz polling rate and talks about the 660 hours of battery life. Now, obviously, you're never going to get actual 660 hours. That's going to be under peak ideal conditions, but you're still going to get probably 400 to 500 hours, which, I mean, that's a long time. Although keep in mind that there are, of course, caveats to that, and we'll talk about that. I love the fact that they say color versions, and then there's only black. That is hilarious. We'll take a look at the launcher when we get there. So one thing that they don't tell you here is that at 660 hours of use on a single charge, now that is Bluetooth connectivity. I was talking to the ZMK developer, and he informed me that there is no built-in 2.4 gigahertz wireless spec inside of ZMK. So obviously that mileage is going to vary if you're using the 2.4 gigahertz, which is where you're going to get your higher latency. So you're looking at about 125 hertz latency or refresh on that for standard Bluetooth to get your 600 or 400 hours of battery life. So you're probably going to get about 3 months of battery life, and only on Bluetooth with the lights off. That's still really good. But, you know, that's uses an ARM core processor. Then we get into the Silk switches, which are, as far as we know, made by Gateron. And they're a dual rail full palm switch. We do have the red today. And anything interesting here? Layers of foam. There is no PE sheet, but there is a PET sheet on top of that, which is fine. And then it's got your standard Keychron pour-on gasket mount. Comes built with Mac keys and is swappable with a switch. The stabilizers suck. I did lube the stabilizers already, though, when I opened it up to take a look at it. And it does have per key RGB, which we'll see in the lighting. But here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to set this to the side for now. In case you didn't see that. And we'll open up the box. So there's an outer cover and then the inner Keychron in its little premium box. Quick start guide as usual. Check your pins when you're changing your pins. This is a hot swap board, as are all Keychron V series boards. You don't usually get soldered boards unless you're in the C or K series. So we have everything. You have your extra keys. This is going to be your Windows keys because it comes standard with the Mac key setup. You have a converter dongle, another A to C converter, some extra screws, hex key, screwdriver, your keycap switch puller combo, and a braided USB cable. Standard, but it is rated for an 8K polling rate. Let's jam all this stuff back in here. We will not be needing any of that stuff today. In here, and then we'll take out the star of the show. This is the keyboard. And we'll drop that down here. All right. Here we go. First impressions are that it is the exact same case as the Max. So you have your switches over here. Whoa, hey, thanks for the raid, man. Awesome. Yay. What's up, Nav? We are looking at the ZMK-based Keychron Ultra right now. And then we're going to look at some new Unikey switches today. So we are starting with the keyboard, and then we will put this keyboard away and not use it for the switch testing. How's everybody doing today? I was just talking about how this is the exact same case as the last gen, the Max model. I have the Huano G-Ray, the Cthulhu switches, and the Aster switches. Those last two are HMX. I'm very interested in the Cthulhu switches because I love Cthulhu. Yes. Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu. I, Cthulhu, Vatagan. For those of you who know, that means hail, hail, Cthulhu, Dreamer. Yeah, again, I'm not testing it in the board, but I was hoping that the Cthulhu switches would be good in the Dimium. The easiest way to configure macros for ZMK. I don't. Hold on a second. Let me see. And y'all will get a sound test, or an early sound test of this board. And oh, right, I was going to reset this because I was testing it out. I'm not going to do it. No. Anyway. Hold on a second. I might have an answer for you before the end of the stream. Okay. I reached out to Pete and I asked him about that. So let's see if he responds to me and gets me an answer. Pete Johansson, by the way, is the developer of ZMK. So if anybody has that answer, he will. And then we can also take a look at the Keychron launcher and see if there's anything in there for macros. So if you're running a ZMK board, you can try it inside of the Keychron launcher. When I spoke to Keychron at CES in January, they were saying that they are going to try to support other builds like they do in their regular launcher for VIA. you can actually load the JSON file inside the Keychron launcher, and it will pull in your keyboard there. I'm not sure about the ZMK launcher that they have here, but it is possible. Let's see, can I? Oh, exit demo mode. Let's connect. Can I just... give you all some rainbow look. But yeah, this is the Keychron launcher, and it is essentially an overlay to, or maybe a derivative of the ZMK Studio. Have you tried using that, Liquid? Or Evil? I don't know which one you prefer. Do you prefer Evil? Some people do. But in here, you can do things like configure your polling rate. You can configure snap actions. So you can potentially, yes, you can. So you can create a snap tap on this board. And which is interesting since it's a mechanical board. This is actually the second board that I found recently that does this. So if you're looking for the mechanical, if you're happy with mechanical switches and don't necessarily need the Hall effect, but you do want your snappy tappy, then the Keychron, also the new EPO makers will support SnapTap, which I looked at last week. Aside from that, like I said, key mapping. What's up, Inn of Greatness? It's been a while. Been a little bit. In the multitude of different lighting effects that you can do. Like I said, you can set your macros here. Advanced mode, polling rates. You can do your firmware updates from here, but I have the latest firmware update. You can set your wireless firmware if there is one. Oh, well, I mean, busy's good, I guess. And then, of course, you can do the test. If you wanted to enable sound effects, you can have it, but overall, I like the Keychron launcher much more than I like the ZMK Studio, but that's because they have a lot more money to throw at it. The ZMK Studio is a smaller project, so you don't have as much with any open source project, you're going to end up with, it's not going to be quite as polished as when you have people throwing a bunch of money at it. So it automatically puts you into layer 2 here, and that's because I have it in Windows mode, even if I don't have the Windows keys installed on here. But let's go ahead and we're going to close this real quick. Take a look at the board. So again, it's an ABS plastic case. It's solid. It's got some weight to it, probably because there's silicone in the bottom. This on the Keychron V Series Max, it actually has a USB A and a USB C. But again, since the ZMK spec doesn't even support this, I'm guessing they just couldn't do that as well. Over on this side, you have your battery indicator light, your USB port, and then you have switches for cable versus Bluetooth versus or wireless versus Bluetooth. So you have your light that lights up to let you know, and then your Windows Mac mode switches here, which they've always had. Looking at the bottom, it's pretty plain Jane. All of the fittings, including the internal fittings, are all brass. Even if the internal fittings are Phillips head. These are hex. Then you have 2 stage feet. The initial stage feet are kind of weak, but these are solid. If you need it. What's the initial typing angles on here? Where are my specs at? They're not going to tell me the typing angles because they're bastards. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations on the promotion, though. Overall, the typing angle here is a little low. I would probably go with the initial feet, but when you move it around on your desk, it wants to hit that rubber foot and then bounce up, but it's not really that big a deal. It's certainly better than the Slate, where it's not even attached, although the Slate is a better keyboard, obviously. The Q series, which is the full aluminum version of this same design, and they do have a Q Ultra. It does not have feet, so it has its own typing angle. Yeah, I do have the best viewers. Thanks, man. So let's do a sound test on this board, and then we'll get into some switches. So this is the stock Keychron V1 Ultra. So yeah, those are the new Palm switches. They're silk switches, and I think they are tons better than the Jupiter switches that used to come in it, and certainly better than the ones that came before it. Even though, like I said, I believe they're all these are also made by Keychron. So that is the... Well, we'll leave that down there. I should actually probably just pause the music. Do we really need music today? Does anybody have any questions on the Keychron before I kind of put them to the side so that we can start looking at some switches? Does anybody have any questions for me? How are y'all doing? How am I doing? What's going on? Where am I? Where am I? Do I have a current favorite keyboard? Do I have a current favorite switch? Which question did you want an answer to? Because I do have a current favorite switch. Current favorite keyboard. Ooh, yes. As a matter of fact, I do. It's not actually going to come into play today, but I did want to actually show it off. Because while this is not part of our little keyboard switch excursion today, I have been... Get ready for the noise. Alright. This is my salvation. The Wilbitech Salvation. I currently have it set up with the avocado hot swap PCB and the original FR4 plate that came with it. And then it has HMX Yogurt S switches in it, which I had gotten last week and have put into here. And then it has GMK Striker 2 on it. And this is kind of one of my new favorite keyboards, and I've been really enjoying typing on it recently. But so, it's a very satisfying keyboard to type on. That sound, the solid bottom out, even though it's a little bit higher pitched than my normal fave keyboards, it oh, sorry, we'll wait. Meanwhile, we'll start talking about the switches we're looking at today. Seconds left. I wonder if I have a drink up here. Hold on, I'm gonna look and see if I have a Coca-Cola Zero. Dude, yay. Okay. Alright, welcome back. So beyond the specs, it's just a very satisfying keyboard to type on. Um, the solid bottom mount. The one thing I don't like, of course, is the split backspace, which it forces on this avocado PCB. But I just have both these keys set to backspace, so it doesn't really matter. I do like the layout mostly. I do tend to enjoy arrow keys. So while this will never be my long-term favorite, it is the keyboard that I have been gravitating to the most. And I just love this blue. This is just a gorgeous ano on here. It's just a beautiful board. I love the angles. And this type of the box on wedge has been adopted by a lot of. And then the leaf spring gasket, which it uses. So since it does use a leaf spring gasket, I only have plate foam in this keyboard, which is another departure for me. And yet it still sounds and feels just very satisfying to type on. So that is why this is currently my favorite keyboard. Although my Neo 65 is right up there, but it's not here right now. It's downstairs, and I'm not going to go get it. I mean, I guess I will, but I don't need to. So today, like I was saying, I love showing off my keyboards. As I was saying earlier, we are going to be looking at these three different switches. These are the Cthulhu switches by HMX. These are the Aster switches by HMX. And then these are the G-Ray. Not Gray. Oh no. G-Ray by Huano. And we're going to be looking at them in 3 different builds. So all of my builds have foam in them. And that's only because that's how I usually run my board, so I'm going to keep that going. For all of these switches, you can easily find people who are running foamless, so I would recommend if that's your bag, but you can get kind of an idea from this. Not sponsored by Coke Zero, but I would take that sweet, sweet Coca-Cola money if they offered it to me. And again, the Salvation had the HMX Yogurt S switches in it. So this is one of the boards we're going to be testing switches in. This is the XVX M68 keyboard. This is a solid American walnut construction keyboard, so it is made of wood. So kind of nice, kind of fun. Currently it is built out with, and all of my boards today will have the KP Republic Ghost Judge keycaps. It's a very reasonably priced keycap set. They're like $42 for like super awesome kitting. There's only one flaw with the kitting, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But this is so this is the baseline for this with the Gateron Mint Smoothie switches in it. So this is a double shot PBT. All the sets are going to be double shot PVT sets, so that's going to bring the sound a little bit deeper, combined with the fact that wood is going to naturally absorb some of the sound, so you'll get a slightly more muted sound signature and a slightly deeper sound signature because the whole inside of the case is wood with a little bit of foam. In this particular case, even if I wanted to remove the foam, I can't. This is the biggest flaw of this board, is that the screws are underneath here. I would have to remove this board specific long rubber foot, and if I did, it would not go back on there right, but the screws, basically you have to undo 2 screws here and here, take this metal piece off, this is aluminum, it's not brass, in order to then the PCB comes out. But since I do not want to remove this, I will not be removing anything. But we will be testing some switches in here. For the most part, we're going to be doing the I don't do HJ, I do GH because I think it's more centered to the board. But it doesn't matter. And then I'll be putting in the keys that spell hey with shift and spacebar. That'll give you kind of a more round view of that. The second board that we will be taking a look at is polycarbonate. Maybe not second. I'm not saying what order I'm going to be doing these in, but this is the agar. Again, Ghost Judge keycap set. Currently, this board has more of the yogurts in the alphas, and then the modifiers are all HMX Chew switches. So, kind of a baseline. So that's the second one. And then finally, the last board that we will be looking at is aluminum. And for that, we are going to go to my old trusty TESS 65. This is a budget all aluminum construction. Again, you have that box on wedge that we talked about earlier with that nice angle here. This is actually a really nice board if you were able to pick one up. And currently, since I've now forgotten, we'll take a look real quick. Oh, right. These are Keychron blue switches are the stock switches in this board. And this is the one we'll actually start with today. So here is its baseline. So the problem with Ghost Judge kitting, it's pretty interesting, is that you have your accent keys here. If you want to run this in 7U, the 7U only comes in the accent color. You can't like build it without the accent color. This is a problem for me because I love Blue Samurai, but I don't like the gold keys, which are the accent keys, which means I can't run it in a 7U with the standard blue with the gold legends and not have gold keys, which sucks. Which makes me very sad. But I do have, like, a GMK Blue Samurai set, and that's what I use for that. That is currently on. That's actually what's on my Neo 65 that I was talking about. But let's go ahead and let's start with the Aster switches, because I don't know what those actually sound like. Let's just get rid of a bunch of keys here. So, the Gateron keycap switch puller, I got it at CES in January, and the keycap puller part has already broken. That piece just snapped right off. So, oh gosh, I forgot all about this. DY actually sent this to me, as didn't even tell me, it was just in the box, and it is a 4 keycap puller. Same one that Mango has. I haven't opened it up yet. I haven't looked. Let's look together. Very excited by this. Hashtag game changer. That's right. I still do that because I'm old. Maybe I will. Well, I will almost certainly rebuild at least one board today, but it might not be one of those 3. So, yeah. And then you take off this little Velcro, and then it opens up, and you can pull off 4 at a time. And I think we will. Let's just go. We'll just take these 4 off, because I want to try it. Oh yeah. That's the way to do it. Play your guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way to do it. Pull your keycaps off and get the chicks for free. By the way, in case y'all did not get that, let me just say that the Keychron I paid for. The switches, Unikeys was nice enough to send over. So the switch part of this is a sponsored stream. However, everybody knows how much I love talking about switches. So there is absolutely no reason to think that I would hide my thoughts on switches, because that's how I roll. Because the last thing I want is for somebody to buy the wrong switch. That is the reason why I buy so many switches. Oh, because I'm going the wrong way. Right, ISO support, yay. These certainly are a bright looking switch, kind of weird with the purple, the lilac bottoms, with the bright sunny side up stems, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's not actually white. It's more of an off-white. It's a white. It looks like a little bit of yellow in it to me, but. Come on. Is anybody else, when they're putting keycaps back onto a board that you pulled off recently, and they're just kind of in a pile, you make it out into a game where you're like, which row is going to fill up first, or something like that? Or is it just me? It's probably just me. Okay, so these are the HMX Astra switches. Let's do a quick sound test, and then we'll look up some specs. And that's comparison. These are the original switches, the Klein Blues. Come on. That's the original. So. This is a good switch. I don't know what I was expecting from this switch, but it is definitely surprising me in a good way. There is a little bit of, and I don't know that it's going to be coming through. Oh, do I need to stop the music? Best budgety keyboard with a screen. Now, do you want an aluminum keyboard, or is plastic okay? Oh, you don't hear any music. That's weird. How about now? It should just be coming through a little bit on the underside, because I just want it to be some background. Nope. Okay. If you are talking about a decent plan, so my go-to is the RT85 by EvoMaker. The screen on it is the best screen that I have ever seen on a keyboard. And that is, doesn't matter whether it's a Corsa or whether or not it is the AL80. This RT85 screen, for whatever reason, is just peak, man. It is just the best screen I've ever seen on a keyboard, which is weird because it's like an $85 keyboard. It is that kind of a hybrid, almost TKL layout, kind of like the Wooting 80, kind of layout, I would recommend checking it out. It's a decent board. I choose to hype it, even though I will mention that the EpoMaker RT85 was sent to me by EpoMaker. So, yes, the one with the little, it's got a little screen, and then it's got the little joystick for lighting and volume control, which is fun to have on there, but not, you know, if it were programmable, it would be so much better. Why didn't they do that? I would love it if it had been programmable. Anyway, neither here nor there. It has it's a little chunky on the sides because it stores the dongle over here on the left side under a magnetic cover. But if you can get past that, that's probably the biggest thing. But I think I like these switches. You can't really hear it. There is a little bit of, there's some scratch in here. It's not terrible. And these are the asters. So let's try the asters in one of the other boards. What do you say we go wood next? And we will just pull off these 4. And these 4. I love this thing. I'm not going to say that part of the reason why these mint switches are on here are because they match this keycap set so well, but I'm not saying it. Okay. And then switches. There is not one in black. It only comes in that beige color. But since it's a beige, you can kind of work with it and get just about anything to work on it. Currently, I have drop garnet on it. And it just completely changes the entire nature of the board. That red, that bright red is really fantastic on there. Come on. If you're looking for black and screen and budget, that AL80 that I mentioned, I think that comes in a black. That has a decent screen. It's kind of a generic screen. Not really a whole lot to write home about on it, but it's pretty good. What other good screen budget keyboards are there out there? In black. Hmm. Um. Thinking. Do I not have any screen keyboards out right now? I don't. That's weird. Let me think about that. I think that the S98 by Royal Kluge came out with a graphite colorway, or they're going to, and they have basically the same kind of stock screen, but it's oriented horizontally instead of vertically, like on the AL80. So more like the RT85. See, Red Dragon has the Eclipse Pro, which has a okay screen, and it's aluminum, and it's not that expensive. But it's a pre-built that comes with switches, and the switches just fucking suck. Okay, so here's the Astra switches on the M68. And this is the original switches. Definitely a lot fuller on here than the mints are. That's a pretty... That's Thock, by the way. This not. This, yes. This almost. But that shift. Oh. So, not until you get into the higher costs, because, you know, if you're going into a $200 board, you start getting into some keyboards that have screens. But again, the screens aren't that much better. You might do better with getting something if you get it in beige and then go with a black on white set for it, or, you know, something like that to try, you know, kind of shift the color away. It still works. Let me show you what I mean, because I do have that board around here, I think somewhere close by, I thought. Maybe I don't. I lied. That's weird. I don't, apparently. I thought I did. Cool. Yeah, I thought I did. I don't. But, you know, just, since keycaps take up the majority of the real estate on a keyboard, changing the color of the keycaps can change the flavor of the board. but it's as always, it's personal preference, and that might not be your bag, but. The 708. And then last but not least, let's look at our ALU option here. I mean, our PC option here. Actually, I could just put you back up here. There you go. Until we're ready for you. These are the yogurt switches. Now this is going to kind of be our clackiest build in its original form, just because it is. Now, keep in mind that the Red Dragon is well, this makes it easy. I mean, it's got these little metal hooks that get underneath. So you just get underneath and then just pull straight up. Hey, what's going on? What's up, Villa? How are you? Yes, love the PC agar. We have the PC and the aluminum agar. You can see the aluminum agar right there with Emma on it. It's very nice. I love that. And right now we are testing out the HMX Aster switches. Now I was hoping, I recently purchased from Divinikey some more KeyGeek Sarah switches. I was hoping to include those in this test. Oh, thanks for the follow. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Oh, okay. I will stretch. I will stop what I'm doing and stretch. Oh. Yeah, I don't want y'all to see my. That's a different kind of stream entirely. I was thinking so, but probably end a little bit early and then go with you. So now my keyboard listing is inaccurate for the keyboard build. Because my default keyboard for today was the, what was it? Oh, the Dimium. Right, the Dimium. Um, I mean, how controversial could a controversial... Let me guess. Wait, let me guess. Is it a glorious keyboard? To me, that is the only controversial keyboard. Everything else, fine. And even then, if you got it for cheap, why not? If you like it, it doesn't matter. Oh, I mean, razors are razors. I mean, they are what they are. All right, so this is the HMX Aster on the polycarbonate agar. Now, again, I don't know if it's coming through. It's probably not, but the scratch that I was referring to earlier on the aluminum is more pronounced on the polycarbonate, and that is because of the thinness of the foam that the agar uses, plus the smaller footprint is going to cause that. Overall, though, it's definitely switches that I can see have a place. If we go ahead and we're gonna plug in said agar, and then set those off to the side. We'll come back to you in a minute. And we're gonna go look at the and don't forget, if you want to buy whoa, I thought that was liches. Liches get stitches. Don't forget, if you decide that you want any of these switches, you can use my affiliate link and get me a little kickback, yo. Which would really help me out. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would also be a great help. If you have an Amazon Prime, loves it. So these are the 48 gram bottom mount, which are still the ones that are in stock. Thanks for the follow, man. So HMX works with outside designers in a lot of cases. In this case, this is a collab with YLab. It uses the L1 mold and the L3 top and bottom housing mold. It has an LY stem, which is really weird that I'm getting that much scratch out of it, because LY should not, like, that's a very soft plastic that should not be scratchy at all. It'll probably clear itself up over time. Yeah, I mean, when I order from Unikeys, I end up having to pay for, because they're China based. But if you like switches, like I like switches, I don't know if you can see the switches behind me over here, but there's a lot of them. Then, you know, that they're probably, I would say, between them and Milktooth are probably the biggest Switch providers at the moment. You have your other vendors. I'm not sure what the best European vendors for Switches is. I would probably go with Unikeys, even there. Did I not replace these? Somehow I didn't. I did not replace those? I didn't. Weird. Okay. Anyway, but we'll get that on the next one, which for the next one, we are going to look at the Huano. I don't know why I wanted to switch those two, but I'm not going to do it. So we're going to leave the DNF there. Oh, my G didn't come that time. There we go. And U4. And U4. This really is a game changer, let me tell you. Can I do this? No, that's just going to pull out the whole keyboard. So, I mean, if you have silent switches already that you like, I mean, silent switches are kind of a case-by-case basis for me. Because in any silent switch case, you're looking for it to be silent. Oh, I know there are tons. I mean, I'm trying to think of a good switch vendor, Monster Dude. If you know of one, go ahead and, let us know. Well, keycaps are another weird thing. If you're going with, and let's take a look at the G rays now. These are made by Huano. And we're going to start with this one because it's the one that's in front of me. So this is our one non-HMX switch that we're looking at today. And again, just to reiterate, this is a sponsored stream by Unikeys. They sent me the switches to take a look at, but obviously they have no... Oh, well, it's good seeing you, man. Have a great night. Enjoy. Yeah, I figure it's probably a little bit later out where you are. So, yeah, have a great evening. So yeah, this is live. They don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to say. Since I, fly by the seat of my pants. Oh. Isn't technically GMK now out of China? Didn't they move operations? Or am I thinking Cherry? I might be thinking Cherry. No, I'm pretty sure it was GMK. I think they're moving operations to China from Germany. Ah, their official store is still based in Europe. Okay. Hey, thanks for the follow. How are you doing today? All right, this is the Huano G Ray, not Gray, G Ray switches. Um, Interesting. It's an interesting sound. It has a little bit more on the top out than I normally go for. But both the down push and the top out, both the bottom out and the top out, are pretty good. There's just a little bit of scratch in there, just a little bit. And I think that if you were to like lube them yourselves, you would have to clean them first. They would clean up nicely. Let's see. Let's look at the aluminum next. Are y'all liking this format where I'm putting it into different boards? Just as a reminder, this is the Aster that are in there now. I'm going to pull those out. So much easier. Because I'm hoping that if they like the content that I'm doing, that they'll send me some more switches that we can look at in the future, or maybe even a keyboard or two. That would be awesome. And be sure to stop me if you have any questions. It is not Hammerhead. It is a Hammerhead clone. It is part of the KP Republic Ghost Judge. So it's just the colorway. It has no, it has none of the novelties, which I have less of a problem with. But it is a die sub PBT set, which is better for me. I almost got Hammerhead when it was on sale recently. Wasn't able to do it. So all of the keycap sets on the 3 keyboards that we're looking at today are all Ghost Judge. And that is for consistency as a variable. All the boards have foam, whatever foam that board allows, and all of the boards have the Ghost Judge keycaps. Why am I putting that on backwards? Because I'm an idiot. What an idiot. Okay, here we go. On aluminum with a PC plate, by the way. Let's bring down the music a little bit. Seems to have gotten louder. There are. Oh yeah, all the Domiki, all the Domiki sets are double shot or triple shot ABS, and I have some of those. I have the Silent Sea. This is kind of clacks it up. Interesting. All right, let's try the last one, which is the wood board, and then we'll start where we started. Or start where we ended. Start where we started. One of those. As a reminder, this is the Asters. Now we'll pull off these. 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 And then these two. I don't know why I'm still doing enter key. It's not real. I really use it. Come on. This is the only one that doesn't have a PC plate. This has an FR4 plate. And there's nothing I can do about that. There's no PC plate option for this. Yeah, KP Republic is another one of those sites that sometimes surprise me. I mean, there's a lot of that really kind of budget, not always great stuff on there, but I like the Ghost Judge sets. I think that they are a really solid clone set maker. And then the Dhamaki, but the Dhamaki is usually pretty pricey, at least for me. The only reason I was able to get the Silent Sea all-in-one set, or all-in set, was because there was like a sale where it was marked down 80%. And I'm like, okay, I can do that for 80% off. So but out of their boards, am I good with PCs? I mean, yeah, kinda. I'm pretty good with PCs. What's going on? What do you need help with? It does not feel like it went in right. Because it didn't. By the way, hi, welcome, Massey. And if I can't help you, I'm sure, since I have the smartest, most sucked up to viewers out there, I'm sure they can help you because they're all geniuses. Yes. When that happens, it's two things. One, Windows is not allowing an unsecure boot to occur, in which case you're kind of screwed. But two, there is another setting, and I'm trying to think of what it's called. Give me a sec. Let's take a look at the G-rays inside the wooden board. So here's the Mint. Here's the G-ray. So I think it's... What is that setting called? Yeah, it is. That's pretty good. I'm kind of digging it. But the time has come, everyone. The time has come for Cthulhu. So this is the one I've been most excited for. And I know a number of people have raved about the Cthulhu switches. I don't remember what that setting is called. There's a setting in the BIOS that when you switch it, it will allow your you to boot insecurely. But I would just look in your security settings, maybe in the hard drive security settings. That is... Does it not give you a error message? It might flash an error message that might help you. Come on, Huano. Okay, so these are the... Oh, we almost didn't look at the specs on those. Hold the phone. Hey, look, they're right here. So these are the Huano G-Ray, as I said. And these are all linear. It was designed by Goatworks, which is just a fun name. Stem is palm, strengthened palm, which, yeah, I mean, it didn't really have too much this sandy feel. I would say that the Astra switches had more, but as far as this dry film lubrication process, it did kind of feel a little less soft. So take that what you will. It's a nylon top and bottom. The bottom has a 30% fiberglass. That's going to contribute to some of the clackiness. It's got a very interesting spring configuration because this is so close. This 45 to the 50 bottom mount. It comes in two flavors, and there's a heavier version, which I did not get sent, only the 45. And it's almost full travel. Plus or minus up to full travel. These are the Cthulhu switches. I, Cthulhu, Patagon. And if you've never heard I, Cthulhu, Patagon before, it's Cthulian. He's the dreamer. Oh, I almost didn't pull out these two. Where is my color? I guess I could use the other one. Why are you putting your machine into, or turning off your, why are you putting your machine into secure boot mode for Call of Duty? I guess I'm a little confused with that. Or why isn't your computer in secure boot mode all the time? Because now that I'm thinking about what you're saying here, you're not taking it out of secure boot mode. You're putting it into secure boot mode in order to play your game, and then you want to take it out afterwards, which doesn't make sense. Because if you're running a Windows machine, by default, you should be running it in secure boot mode. They certainly are a pretty switch if you like purple. I mean, if you have the money for it. Who am I to say? I mean, a 57 or 5070 is a pretty good board. I run like 3 generations old AMD, all AMD stuff, so like you're talking about getting a 9800 X3D, and mine is like a 5800 X3D. So who am I to say? My 5800 X3D though runs like a freaking champ. Let me tell you, I do not have any problem playing games. So here is the Cthulhu switches in the wooden case. In case y'all missed that, this is all American walnut, complete case. So. Yeah, this is a cheap too. This keyboard, when it retailed for like $80. I'm not sure if it's still available, but when it was, this is essentially the same as the MU keyboard by Akko, except for it does not feature wireless. It is a wired-only keyboard, which I was fine with. I wanted an all wooden construction keyboard, and I wasn't concerned about the wireless capabilities. However, these Cthulhu switches, these are freaking nice. They're loud, but they don't have much scratch. They sound really nice. All right, that's good. Let's try it in polycarbonate. By the way, hey, Easy Gamer, how are you doing today? Don't want to neglect you and not tell you hi, since it is your first time chatting with me. Do you have any questions for me, besides asking if you should buy a hot PC? Because you should, if you have the money. I would. Actually, I don't know. I mean, again, I really like my current computer. I don't have any problem with it. And so, which of course is an endorsement for getting more AMD processors. Okay. We're just gonna go with my good old buddy. Oh, thanks for the follow. Love a new follow. Follow. For those of you who are not familiar with Civilization Revolutions, It was a Civ game designed for the Xbox 360. And basically they had their own version of Simulish. And the one of the advisors would say that. Follow, follow. So, yeah. I mean, again, I'm an older gentleman, so I've seen a lot of things. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in New Orleans. So, land of Mardi Gras. And had a lot of good times growing up. I'm big into RPGs and board games, and aside from keyboards. Also, obviously, computer games and, well, keyboards. Love Switches. I buy lots of Switches because I'm always chasing that next great Switch. And currently, my great Switch is Lunar Stones by HMX. If you have not tried the Lunar Stones by HMX, tough because they're never on stock. I should ask him if he's ever going to get restocked. Is DY a he or she? I don't know. They. I'm going to ask them if they're ever going to get any more Lunar Stones, because that is by far my favorite. Well, not by far. There's a lot of good Switches out there. There are a lot of them are HMX. Some Key Geek. So, okay. Here is the Cthulhu on polycarbonate in the agar. So a little bit deeper than the Yogurt S, which is what's in here. This is the Chew. Chew is a great Switch too. Yeah, I think it's good. Let's look at the last board we're going to look at, which is going to bring that Cthulhu over here into an aluminum case. And then we can talk about it for a little bit. Not too long, though. Freya's mother is in town. So we're going to go out and have some dinner. I don't know if y'all heard that earlier, but that's the thing. The thing, the hip, the happening, the haps. That out of the way. And again, any comments on this format where I'm just breaking out a bunch of keys on a board, not really rebuilding the whole board, giving you kind of a flavor for the Switch? Is it helping? Is there something more that I can do for you? Besides just, you know, hanging out, talking about life and whatnot. More life. Well, no, more whatnot. So for those of you who have not seen this board, this is the Test 65. It was produced by Divinity, and it's really a very nice little board. Great. ISO support, yay. I recently had oral surgery. My dentist was like, "You can't go on stream." I'm like, "No, I'm going on stream. I have to talk to all my adoring fan." Just the one. So next week, we will be building a wooting. I have the kit coming today. Sometime next week, the alamaze, the blue alamaze, will be arriving, and we're gonna build it probably with Gateron Jade Deltas. And drop DCD Walkman. Because I love me some blue. Alright, here we go. This is the aluminum PC plate and HMX Cthulhu switches. These are the Klein Blue, yes, the KeyGeek Klein Blue. Much more muted switch. Very nice. I think, yes, as I suspected, which is kind of the reason why I left it for last, the Cthulhu switches are the best out of the 3 that we received today. I would say that I might even like them better than the Yogurt S switches. They are not quite Lunar Stone tier. I would definitely put them on par with the HMX Chew switches, which are these. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and we'll pull DNF here and replace the Klein Blues with a couple of Chews. Hey, that rhymed. Hey, that rhymed. So, no, I like the Cthulhu better than the Chews. And Chew was my second favorite. Now it might be the Cthulhu's. Let's take a look at the Cthulhu. And I love this, by the way. If you've never been on Unikey's website and read their little updates, and they'll tell you if you're looking for a smooth, clacky switch, Cthulhu is just for you, and that is pretty close to what you're getting. It's got a palm stem, an M1 palm stem, because they love their variants on the materials over at HMX. PC top housing, which is obvious, and I don't mind the PC top housing. Now, when they go full polycarbonate, HMX has a tendency to be a little squelchy, and I don't know why, but they do, and that is my problem with the SU color switches, which I have a full set right behind me. Is that I can't put them into a board because they sound weird. And the bottom housings on these are 50% fiberglass, which, if you don't know, that's one of the things that HMX loves to do, is they love to put fiberglass into their switches. They couldn't put it in top housing because polycarbonate and fiberglass, at least for the most part, is not see-through. And then it'll tell you if it's lubed. Yeah. That's one of the things that Unikeys does great. Currently, they do have a sale going on. Unfortunately, like the good stuff, like they have the original yogurts, or not the yogurt S, which I have never tried. And some of the other ones, they have the Bison Snow Dianes, which if you're looking for a very mellow switch, that's good. And at $2.50 per pack of 10, I mean, why not? That's just a good. Now it's a creamy switch, so keep that in mind. You're not going to get the level of clack or even a solid bottom out like you would off of an HMX switch through the B-Sun switches, but the Snow Dianes are good. They are the ones that Freya swears by, Freya being my girlfriend. And she has them in her Tiga. HMX Purple Dawns are on sale. That's a pretty good switch. Brinies are on sale. That's a good switch. And these are the ones that I've tried and can tell you that they were good. Any other of these might be good, but yeah, I didn't try them, so I can't tell you. I kind of want to get this, except I know I'm not going to be able to read the legends on it, and so I'm a little hesitant. But yeah, that's really the stream for today. Does anybody have any questions about any of the switches that we looked at today? Anything that y'all want me to show you or talk about or anything like that before we wrap it up? Let me see if anybody else started streaming. Not seeing anyone. Let me do a quick look. Y'all know if anybody else is streaming right now? I am just looking for, oh, I gotta plug it in. I'm just looking for somebody to raid, and then we will wrap it up. Yeah. Clicks, you're here just in time. Yes. We are going, oh. Look, Kevin's streaming. He is building his 1098. So we are going to raid Rukia. Thanks for showing up, though, Clax. I had to do a Saturday stream. Yeah, I know, right? Because we are touching grass tomorrow. So, not actually touching grass, but we're leaving the house. So, and I'm wrapping it up now because we're going to dinner with Freya's mom. So, that is us. So we're going to go ahead and raid. He is soldering right now. Yeah, I went through a bunch of switches and the Keychron V1 at the very beginning. The QMK based Keychron board, which is basically a QMK rehash of their Macs. But that is that. So thanks to everybody. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate everything that y'all do when you join me. And it's awesome. And for all the new people, welcome. And I hope to see you next Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Have a good one.